Hello everyone, my name is Michelle Farley and we are kicking off Edify Beauty with our first episode. And I wasn't really expecting it to be on such a controversial topic, but there has been a lot of buzz that has been going on recently about what is happening with Deva Curl. Several people have come forward and it has been heartbreaking to see that people are blaming themselves, and a lot of people are asking questions, and I felt that we are here to provide insightful and practical information. All of the opinions and everything that you hear in this video are purely my own opinion, based on just what I've seen, what my experience has been, what I have heard, and what I've experienced throughout the industry over the time. Hey everyone, welcome to Edify Beauty. I'm Michelle. I'm a beauty industry expert, a hairstylist, and a hair coach, and I'm here to share insightful and practical advice with you. And you may be wondering why I seem so chipper if you have read the title of this video, because we are talking about Deva Curl. A lot of you have been voicing concerns about what has recently been happening with Deva Curl. Several people have been coming forward that people have been losing their hair and that all sorts of really bad, icky things have been happening. And there's been a lot of confusion, there's been a lot of heartache, and I may seem unusually chipper to be having this video, but you have to understand my grieving with Deva Curl happened a very long time ago, and I am just so excited to see that other people are starting to voice their concerns, and hopefully we'll spark something in Deva Curl to bring back their old products. We can hope. So let's kind of dive in. My story with Deva Curl, when I started as a hairstylist, I really was passionate about helping any client that sat in my chair. And when you go to beauty school, they focus on straight hair. So what I noticed was the techniques that I was doing for my curly clients weren't necessarily the best techniques for their hair. And I was blessed to be able to work in a salon where there were stylists that were trained from the Deva Curl Academy themselves, and so these ladies were my mentors, so I really gravitated towards curly hair. It was something that I had never seen. Curly girls, their haircuts aren't usually like what they're looking for. You know, they get flat on the top and then they have these big triangle heads at the bottom. Stylists don't know how to cut their layers. They wind up with big poofy layers up here and then thin stringy ends at the bottom. They don't know what products to buy. A lot of girls they don't even realize that they have curly hair. They just think that they have frizzy hair, and so they brush it out and they just have these big poofs and they tie it back in ponytails, and there's just all of these reasons why women with curly hair have just fought with their hair for all of these years. And Deva Curl, they provided not only the training and the tools and the resources to do haircuts so that we could shape their hair, but they also gave them the tools and the resources to style their hair at home with products that actually worked for them. So the original Deva Curl, it was premised around cleansing the hair, hydrating the hair, and defining the hair. 3 products. You only needed 3 products. And they were all reparative. So the whole thing was you can use just these 3 products on any hair type and it's going to help them because it's truly reparative. Most of the products that we start to see in the industry are Band-Aid quick fix products, but Deva Curl focused on repairing the hair and giving it what it really needed. So what you saw was not so much instant gratification the first time that you used their shampoo and conditioner, but after you'd been using it for about 3 months, you started to notice that the hair condition was actually improving and it was getting a whole lot better. And so I just fell in love with Deva Curl. Again, like I said, it was a resource, it was a tool for us to be able to help these women with their hair needs. And I became a strong Deva Curl advocate. I had all of my curly girls using Deva Curl, and once I realized how reparative it was, I started using it on myself. I don't have curly hair, and a lot of my clients didn't have curly hair, but I told them, I said, this is helping the underlying condition. It's focusing on hydrating your scalp and hydrating your hair, and it doesn't have all of the extra chemicals and all of the the things that are harsh and stripping and drying. And so it's just a good quality hair care brand. So a lot of my clients started jumping on this bandwagon, and everybody that I knew was using Deva Curl. I was shouting it from the rooftops. And then several years in, so I started using Deva Curl in about 2010. And they originally started their line, I think, in 2002. So after a few years of using Deva Curl, diehard advocate, I realized that the products were changing, and they didn't seem like they were moisturizing as well. So a lot of my clients were coming in and they were saying that their hair seemed drier, or it was more frizzy, or they had to use a lot more of their product to get the same results. And I was starting to notice the same thing in the salon. And then I started digging around, and what I found out was that Lorraine Massey had sold the company. So real quick history on Deva Curl. The Deva Curl was founded by Lorraine Massey, which is who most of you guys know. She originally started the Diva Sean Salon in New York City. Lorraine's story originally was that she had naturally curly hair, and she noticed one time when she was getting her hair cut, they pulled it, you know, really taut and straight and cut it and all even all the way around. And when she got done and they dried it, it was uneven. And she was like, "Why is my hair uneven?" And they said, "Well, when we pull it, when it's wet and we pull it straight, like it's all even." And she goes, "But I don't walk around with my hair wet and pulling on it straight." So anyways, it dawned on her that she should start cutting the hair dry and in its natural shape. And that's where, you know, over this time she developed this technique and she opened the salon. She's developed so many things that are unique to that salon, like hood dryers that fit for curly hair, and shampoo bowls that are larger so that you can actually, like, you know, comb the products through the hair at the shampoo bowl. Just a phenomenal innovator in her space, and she realized that a lot of the shampoos that were out on the market were really harsh and they were stripping and they were drying, and so she came out with a cream cleanser, which was the no poo, and she really defined that product in this market space. And then from the no poo cream cleanser came the one condition, like conditioner, and the gel, and I think the light defining gel is what it's called. It was originally just called Angel. Yeah, I have to go back and remember all this stuff. So she had just the gel, the shampoo, and that. And then some people were really complaining about, like, they just could not get over that there was no suds in their shampoo. Like, what is this cream? I need bubbles. But she was a strong advocate against sodium lauryl sulfate, which was responsible for most of the suds in products at the time. And so she created low poo. So she used a coconut palm oil that actually created a little bit of a sudsy lather so that people could get some sort of a lather in their shampoo. So anyways, basically it was just one of these shampoos, no poo or low poo, one condition, and the gel for a very, very long time. And then this is where I feel like maybe in like 2012, 2013, 14, time is really bad for me. That's when all of my clients were starting to notice, and I found out that she had sold. And before we all get really upset about how in the world could she sell this amazing product and she sold out and all of these things that I hear when you see a good product line get sold to a larger manufacturing company. One, we have to remember she did so much for the curly space that you really can't hate on the woman. She, again, is the reason she created a revolution, a curly revolution, and she's the reason why so many women know how to work with and love their hair nowadays. So even if she cashed out and she retired and she went to an island somewhere, we still have to thank her. But I don't think that that's what happened. And she has been very quiet and hush-hush about anything Deva Curl. Anytime it gets brought up, she's real quick to change the subject. She doesn't really want to go there. But from my digging, again, this is all purely my opinion, purely my speculation. I wasn't involved in any of their board meetings. I have no idea what they talked about. But just what I've seen in other product companies and what I was seeing happen here with Deva Curl, a lot of professionals have described the selling of their product companies as I was just watching a documentary from Vidal Sassoon, and he said he was seduced into selling their company. So they waited until he was having a lot of heartache in his personal life, and he had these strong aspirations to go global with his product company, and they picked the right time to give him a really big buyout. And they sold him all of these dreams, and they told him what they were going to do for him and how they were going to focus on his company and carry his vision forward. And then right after he sold the paperwork a few months later, it got bought by Procter & Gamble, I think. But it was one of the big conglomerates, and they were not keen to honor, all of the promises that middle company had made. So Vidal lost all control over his company, and it turned into a mass market brand that was a very diluted version of what it once was. And so I think the same thing happened with Lorraine. I think From what I've heard, it seems like this is a very heartfelt pain point for her. She made a joke in an interview that I read once that she was going to make a musical, and she was talking about how not to let those painful moments in your life define you, but let them be learning and growing moments for you in the future, which I thought was, so amazing. But looking at the situation, I think that she was probably made some promises that were not upheld, and the direction of her company did not get carried forward in, I think, probably the way that it was promised to her. Because I think she was involved in the company still for a little while, but she didn't have control, and then she eventually walked away, and she kind of went underground, and nobody heard from her for quite some time. And so that was during the time that I kind of separated from Deva Curl. So, I still have all of their original packaging, all of their, old bottles, because I was a Deva Curl advocate. And you know what? The crazy thing is when they sold and I started noticing that it wasn't working quite as well, I still had a lot of clients that were die-hard Deva Curl advocates. I had turned these women into Deva Curl machines, and even though I was saying, I don't think the products are working as well, they were not hearing it. They were still buying it, so I was still stocking it. So that's where I saw the packaging change and different things change. And then I found it really interesting because a little while after I'd started noticing all this stuff and how it wasn't working in the moisturizing category, what came out next? Deva Curl, I think it was their Delight line. It was an ultra moisturizing line. So now all of these people who weren't getting the moisturizing benefits out of the original Deva Curl now had to go buy their Delight moisturizing line. And then that line was too heavy for a lot of people. And then what did we see? Oh, their light wavy line came out. And so then they had this light wavy line. And so now there was all of these different products for us to try, and I was sitting there very frustrated. And again, all of my clients were still enthusiastic and really excited about Deva Curl, so I was going with the wind. I was trying all of these products with them, and I was really kind of upset though, because I realized that for 2002 to at least 2012, so at least 10 years, I'm thinking more like 12 to 14, it was 3 products for every hair type. And it was 2 shampoos. It was more about your personal preference. Do you like a little bit of suds, or can you do a cream cleanser? And that was it. And now, all of a sudden, 12 years later, I don't think everybody's hair just magically changed. I think somebody thought this is a good way for us to diversify our market and make more money. And this is what I've been seeing in the beauty industry, and it's not unique to Deva Curl. It's brands all across, all around. We're seeing this diversification where consumers think that they're classifying products to make it easier for us to pick. Oh, now there's a shampoo for fine hair, and a shampoo for curly hair, and a shampoo for this and color and this and that. But sometimes we fit multiple categories, and it's really made it more confusing for us to know what to buy. And they don't care, because they know that we're going to buy all of the different kinds, trying until we figure out what it is that we want. So I think Deva Curl basically broke their original formula so that they could expand. And again, this is purely my own opinion. Even though I had noticed this diversification and I wasn't real happy with what was happening, a lot of their products still were performing. So I was still using their Believe In, I was still using their gels, I was still using a couple of their creams. I was still supporting some of their products. It was just their care category that I was starting to not really know how I felt about that. And then, I can't remember, there was a period of time and I noticed that Lorraine popped back up on the map again, and she was creating Curly World. So we'll get back into Curly World here in just a second, but she did create her own line, and guess what was in that line? A cream cleanser, a conditioner, and a gel. Sound familiar? I think that it went back to her original goals. So again, guys, sorry for the controversial first topic, but hopefully you guys got some insight. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe below. Again, there's going to be more videos that just shine light on different truths in the beauty industry, so please subscribe if you like it. I hope you did. Enjoy your day.